You want a war? You're going to get one.
What was that? He had no time for one more play.
He had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
the brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys game.
You literally
screwed us. The brother screwed us. He had one man opportunity for one more play.
Dallas still stinks.
Yo, by the way, Kick Dingbat here. Welcome in to what? Morning for people out the West Coast like me, or like happy lunch for everybody else. What is going on, everybody? Thank you for being here. Vic Fangio spoke today, and we got some things to be very, very excited about. Adoree Jackson is going to start. Oh, boy. It just gets worse and worse, don't it? Logan Motorsports, what's going on, my man? How are you? Donnie, Stinky Fish, Little G Griffith, Casper, Lazyford, A Warrior Rage. Man, these cats are just so distracting me right now. Nick, Ken, Chris North, Matthew. Thank you guys, everybody, for being here. Appreciate it. Just came in, and the cats saw me, so they're all flipping out right now. So I'm sorry if there's a lot of banging in the background. What's going on, Drew? How are you doing, my man? The reason we are losing games is because they're trying to force feed A.J. Brown at this point. He's a diva. I don't think A.J. Brown's a diva. I don't see A.J. Brown as a diva at all. But that's just my opinion. But Fangio did speak today. He said a few interesting things. Adoree Jackson is now ahead of Ringo again. So Ringo had the opportunity to win the starting job, and he blew it. Adoree Jackson now is a starter again, and we don't know whether Q is going to be able to go or not. If Q can't go, our corners are going to be Ringo and Adoree Jackson. He also said that it's possible that Jihaad Campbell starts on the edge, which we all knew it was possible. Sounds like to me he's going to play some edge, but he doesn't want to give away the cookies. So, interesting things going on with the Eagles right now. With Zadarius Smith retiring, the Eagles are definitely weak at the edge. And, man, I think this is I think this game's a huge fork in the road. I really do. With that said, I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Whatever you want to talk about, whatever you feel like, whatever you have to say, let's rock and roll. Jim says Ringo blows out loud. Ringo should be benched for some games. He's getting benched. I would try McWilliams at this point. What do you have to lose? You know what I mean? Mayday, what's going on, my man? Mav, where's the angry face? We are after either way. I hear you. Troy says Ringo and Jackson are ass, period. Agreed. 444 says Campbell has struggled on the edge. How many snaps has he even gotten on the edge? Like, I don't think there's any way we could tell at this point. AJ and Devontae says, it's perfect. Good lunch and 500 podcasts. This day can't get any better. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it. We need to trade for Ward and get rid of Adoree and Mr. Stand Around and not tackle well. Adoree's, both of those guys can't tackle. I think you need a pass rusher. I think before you go out and get a corner, you've got to get you might need two edge rushers. The question is where are you going to go? Bradley Chubb seems like a guy that everybody's starting to talk about. He has connections to Vic. He's 29, but he's got 4.5 sacks this year, and he's finally healthy. Now, I think there are some issues with his contract that you would have to work out. However, I think Chubb may be the most realistic, one of the most realistic guys. You know, and then you got Phillips with Miami, right? There's talk about dude from Pitt. I can't even think of his name right now. The dude from the Jets. Here's another one. But Bradley Chubb, that interests me a lot because I think he could be decent for the Eagles. Nick, thank you for the super chat, my man. Appreciate it. First of the day, he said, Vic said, for now, Adoree starts, trade coming soon. I don't know. I mean, I think they want Ja'Cory Bennett to come in, and then he's going to start. You can't. I don't think you can afford to sell, to give up assets for a corner when you have no help at the edge. 422 special says, got to try the rook at corner. Also, Howie has to make a move. He's got to make about 3 moves. He won't. He'll make one big one. The Eagles stop scoring in the second half of games. The Eagles need to push the envelope. You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding about that. They've got to stop being so super conservative. I agree. Last night, watched the movie Tremors. Is that where you got Mother Humper from? I've never seen the movie Tremors before. Where I got it from was my dad. My dad used to say it all the time. Because he didn't want to say the F word in front of me, so he would say Mother Humper. Did he get it from there? I don't think so, but I never seen Tremors. Roll Philly Dogs is 500. If Q doesn't play, I'm moving DeJean outside. And then what? What are you going to do inside? We need players, man. We definitely need players. He didn't retire. He quit. Yeah, basically, you're right. Bob Brown says, Philly, we need to get back to doing what Hurts does well. The RPO. Hurts running the RPO, put pressure on the defense like magic running fast break. I'm all for it, dude. I'm all for it. Now, why did they get rid of it? I think one of the things was they were saying, like, there were too many calls coming in. They changed the rules, right, with the men downfield type thing. I think that was a big part of it. But, yeah, bring it back, Well, the reason they like DeJean inside, I think, is because he's such a good tackler, right? You like that guy that can tackle in the middle field. I think that's why. But they got to do something. I mean, they got to do something. Like I said, I still think the edge rusher is a bigger worry. Why don't they tell Hurts to roll out so he has more time to throw? Wouldn't it be nice? Roll him out, maybe play action fake. I mean, I'll take any of those things, dude. Any of those things. Let's see. Well, I mean, the Dolphins need a cornerback, so maybe they're either Dory or Ringo. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Jalen Phillips, what has he got? 1 sack on the year? So he's got 1 sack on the year. He's come back from injuries. See, I'd rather have Bradley Chubb, to be honest with you. I know he's a little older, but I'd rather have Chubb than Phillips. You never saw Tremors? What that? No, I never saw it. I don't even know what is it even about? Earthquakes? Saquon needs more carries. 5 or 12 is enough. I agree. What would you accept in return for AJ? At this point, nothing. There's no. If we're talking about Hurts struggling, and we're talking about the Eagles being one-dimensional, and the Eagles need to open up the offense, and they need to do this more and that better. Getting rid of AJ Brown, how does that help you? I don't understand. How does it help your team? Because now defenses don't even have to account for him. I don't think you could trade AJ Brown during the season. You want to trade him, you have to wait till the off season. And then what do I want for him? A first or second? And they're not going to want to give that to me. So I keep him. Man, tight, man. Thank you for the super chat, my man. Because if Hurts plays like ass again this weekend, then Sirianni needs to pull Andy Reid and sit him for a game. Worked wonders for McNabb. If McKee plays, Hurts will be exposed. Oh, man. So you're ready. You want to bench him. Man. Could you imagine benching him versus Minnesota versus Carson Wentz, the guy who got benched for Jalen Hurts? Talk about full circle. I wouldn't bench him. I wouldn't bench him. I would let him play. But I would let him open it up. I would say enough of this bullshit with the, where you can't throw in the tight windows and stuff. Let it rip. You throw a couple turnovers, so be it. But let it rip. Why don't they play McWilliams? He can't be worse than Ringo and Jackson. I wish I knew. The only thing I can think of is he's a rookie, and Fangio don't feel comfortable with him. Billy Covington says, Philly, what do you think about the Cowboys' loss, Bills and Commanders? Well, I think the Cowboys stink. I mean, all this Dak Prescott MVP type crap. It's insanity. They've got 2 wins, and they stink. And they lost to the Carolina Panthers, who I think is one of the worst teams in the league. So, to me, Dallas took a beating again. And it's funny to me that they're all talking about how great Dak is, but they don't want to talk about the last series where he goes 3-0 when it mattered the most. I think they stink. Commanders, I thought that was a big loss for them in terms of if they want to be real competitors, they want to be real Super Bowl contenders, you gotta win games like that. And they lost. And then the Bills, I don't know what to think of the Bills. I still think they're pretty good, but man, Bijan Robinson went off on them. You can run on the Bills. You always could. We need our players to play. Carter sitting, Brown giving up on plays, and our O-line getting bullied by Giants. Come on. Well, the O-line's hurt. That whole Giants game is a disaster. Because I don't know how you look at that game in all honesty. Everybody quit. Everybody didn't give effort. Everybody was crappy, from the coaches to the quarterback to the players. I mean, I thought almost everybody except for maybe Devontae Smith stunk. So I almost feel like you got to just throw that tape out and move on. It was bad. It was bad. Philly, we got to be heavily rooting for the Browns to beat the Dolphins. If the Dolphins go to 1-6, there's a 99.9% chance they are tanking. The Browns are going to win that game. We got a lot of weird games. I don't even know who to root for in the Cowboys-Washington game. Chris Scott says, I don't want Phillips. Phillips is coming off an injury, right? Wasn't he hurt last year? So what has he got? I don't even know. Let me see what he's got sack-wise. I'm curious. Let me see if I can find his statistics. I just wonder. He's probably cheaper than Bradley Chubb, but I don't know what he's got. Like, I don't know what his health situation is. I know that he gets hurt a lot. Let me see. So Phillips, I'll share this with you guys. So here's Phillips. Freaking awesome gadgets. That's not it. But here you go. He's got 10 solo tackles. He's got 1 sack. Can you guys see that? There you go. He's got 1 sack, and that's it, basically. Now he is what? 26 years old, so he's young. But I mean, he's been hurt a lot. So he's one option. We can look. Will you get out of here, you crazy cat? I want to look at Bradley Chubb. Because I think Bradley Chubb is the guy I would go after. I think that because he knows the system, he's more likely to come in and be effective. And I think for the first time in a long time, Bradley Chubb is actually healthy. So here's Chubb. He's 29 years old, so he's 29, and he's got 4 sacks on the year. See, I think Chubb would be a better situation than Phillips. I know Phillips is a little younger, so maybe you have him more longer, but I think for this year, I think Chubb could help you more. And I think he may be more likely than a guy like Hendrickson. Who would you guys prefer? Out of curiosity, Chubb or Phillips? Skylar, thank you for super chat. Appreciate that. My first Eagle game was supposed to be the versus Lions. I decided to sell the tickets. I will always root for my team, but unwilling to spend $1,500 and not be competitive. Wow, $1,500. Damn, that's expensive. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, dude. That kind of money, shit. You must have had really good seats. Hope Mercenary, man, thank you for super chat. People had these hurt suck in the drafts ready. Oh, it's crazy. Darnell, thank you for super chat, my man. He goes, the hate for Jalen Hurts is so forced. Brother Howie needs to get Jermaine Johnson. Yeah, in Philly, young athletic pass rusher. Love the content, brother. Yeah, now he's the guy I was thinking of. Jermaine Johnson's interesting. He could be interesting. I'm gonna look up his numbers. His numbers are probably not that good, but I think I like him better than Jalen Phillips. I just worry about the injuries with Phillips. All right, let's look. Let's see here. All right, so see Johnson's young too. That's the other good thing about Johnson. So Jermaine Johnson, he's got 6 tackles on the year, not much. 1 sack. He's got more than Jalen Hunt, so he's having about the year as Jalen Phillips. So to me, it would be about who's more likely to be healthy longer. But I wouldn't be opposed. I'm curious who you guys like. But I don't like any players from loser franchises. Unfortunately, it's those loser franchises that have to sell off because the teams that are winning aren't. You know, the way I look at it like this, we would consider the Giants a loser franchise, and look what we did with Barkley last year. So it can work. You know? Chubb, I'm seeing people say Chubb. Let's get Benito. I wish. They ain't going to trade him. Roll Philly Dog says he would trade AJ for Max Crosby straight up. I love AJ. We have no edge and no elite ones. Look like they're coming down the pipe. Meanwhile, we have a bona fide number 1 wide receiver, Smitty. Yeah, but you ain't got number 2. You ain't got number 2. Now you're going to have to. Now defenses are going to not have to worry about AJ Brown. What is the record when AJ Brown's not there? It's not all that great. I think that would be a mistake. You know, go get Jermaine Johnson and Bradley Chubb. Go get them both. Yeah, that's right. Go get them both. What's the plan for Hattie? Wish I knew. Logan Motorsports, exactly. The stupidity in this fan base, embarrassing, and Rex bias mentality. I wish I knew specifically what you're talking about. Yeah, Myles Garrett's on a losing franchise. That's true. Ben says, you can't bench Hurts. You just won a Super Bowl, and we're off to a 4-2 start. No team would ever bench a quarterback that just did that. What? You're 4-2, come on. Well, Jalen will be fine. I agree. I agree. I don't think you could bench him. And I think this whole narrative, to be honest with you, of, well, it's all Hurts' fault now, and the reason why the offense isn't good, and the reason why they're predictable is because those are the only plays that Jalen Hurts can run, and they can't use 80% of their playbook. I think that's all bogus, dude. I think they're just using Hurts as a scapegoat. Truth is they handcuff Hurts, and they tie one hand behind his back, and then they say, go be perfect. Go be Josh Allen. And he's not Josh Allen. You know, it's crazy to me. I would like Chubb. I don't know why this thing keeps doing that shit with the focus. It's starting to piss me off. See if I can figure out why is it doing that. Motor Humper. See if it stops doing that crap now. If we lose to the Vikings, this will determine the needs to pack up and leave. I agree. I think if you lose to the Vikings, I don't know how he's going to be in a rush to go get something. Why would he be, you know? We got 587 people in here, only 139 likes. We got to get to at least 200 likes. We even got a dislike in here. How about that? Johnson just came back from an injury. Yeah, see, I mean, Johnson and Phillips, maybe they're better long-term because you get more years out of them. But I think Bradley Chubb is healthy right now. And if you want a guy for this year, he's 29. I'd go get Bradley Chubb, dude. Yeah, Smith is gone, man. He just flat out said, I'm quitting. Him being hurt is not that big of a deal. Nolan and Dean been hurt a lot. Yeah, but I mean, who we talking about? Johnson, or are we talking about Phillips? Chubbs, yeah, I'd rather have Chubbs. Get Chubbs and Phillips. Ojulari and Jackson. Jackson starting. Ojulari, yeah, I guess he's gonna be starting too, or rotate in. No Nolan Smith. It's crazy. The whole team played like crap on Thursday. Coaches included. It's not just Hurts. Oh, God. It was the whole team. Dude, the first series on that defense, they looked asleep. They looked asleep. I think that team checked out of that game. I do. Bradley Chubb has played for Vic multiple teams. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Chubb has also had injuries in the past, but he seems to be healthy right now. And he's played for Vic. He can come in right away. He's instantly your best pass rusher, and he knows what Vic wants. I think Chubb's the guy you got to go for. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. Can you imagine if Campbell turns into Michael Parsons on the edge? That would be like a huge break. That would be like a huge break. Like, that would be amazing. Q's got a hamstring injury, and they said they don't know if he's going to play. They don't know where he's at. So I'm guessing he ain't playing. If it's a hamstring, chances that he plays, nah. It's a Mark Holmes chance. Not happening. This team either wakes the F up or we're going to F him rest the season. Oh, yeah, I agree. Chubb and bring in Tariq Castro Fields off practice squad and put in place of Adoree Jackson. Look, I'll try anybody over Jackson at this point, except for Ringo. I can't believe they both stink. Philly, if we lose the Vikings, what's going to happen next? I think all hell breaks loose. Like, I think if we lose to the Vikings, I think things are going to get really, really interesting, and not in a good way. But like, I think the guys in the locker room are going to start chirping. I think there's going to be a lot of things coming out. I think there's going to be a lot of controversy. And it's going to be one of those things where it's like, I don't know, can his team even recover from this? Did Nick Sirianni lose his team? It's going to be that kind of talk. So I think this Viking game is really important. What banged up players are close to returning? We have to be getting healthy in some point. Well, we got Dean back, and he's going to play more this week. But other than that, I mean, you got to wait. You know, maybe Dickerson. We'll see with him, but I would give him another week off. And then you have Nolan Smith and those guys, Ja'Cory and Bennett. I mean, I think they're all on IR. So you're talking like week 10. Jalix dropped that pick. I knew that. I know. That was, like, he catches that interception, the whole game may be different. Yeah, the offensive line, defensive line got crushed. And that's really where all our problems start. The season is up for grabs for every good team. I know. It's wide open. We turned the season around after the bye last year. Maybe we do that again this year. Wait and see. But we need a few trades at least at edge and corner. You definitely need something at edge. Like, I don't think you can survive with what you have. You have to go outside. And they are. I'm like 80% sure that Howie's going to make a trade. I don't know who it's going to be for, but he's going to make a trade. If Quinion doesn't play, we're screwed big time. See, that's the thing. It's like we can't say, well, we have a really good pass rush, so they're just going to have to step up and make sure Wentz don't have time. No, we don't have a pass rush, and we don't have outside corners. BMO says, it was thrown out there that Zadarius Smith could have been part of a trade package and didn't want to do that, so he retired to avoid it. I did hear that. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if that was true. And I don't know what the trade would have been. It's hard for me to imagine that the Eagles would trade him because they already needed another pass rusher when he was there. So now they need two. We may be able to get Crosby for a few picks and Hunt. How old is Crosby? Let me see. Let me look up Crosby here. I would be shocked if Crosby gets traded. Especially if he's, 28 years old? Let's see. So Crosby's got 4 sacks this year. He's only 28 years old. So he's a year younger than Bradley Chubb. And he's got what, half a sack less? Yeah. I mean, I would love to get him, but I don't know that they will. But I think Bradley Chubb makes the most sense, man. He's on a bad team that's going to want to clean house. They're going to fire their coach. Bradley Chubb, to me, has got to be the guy. No, Jalen Carter's not out. Not yet. Cooper's on the IR. Who's going to guard Jefferson? Q is out. I don't know. Probably Adoree Jackson and Ringo. If Jefferson's in the slot, I guess Coop will be on him. But if you're Minnesota, I just keep him outside. Trade for Chubb, Johnson, and Granderson. Sign Gilmore and Simmons. And cut Adoree, Ringo, and maybe A.J. Dillon and play Tank as a third running back. I like the idea of trading for Chubb and Johnson or Granderson. I don't know if New Orleans wants to trade him, but I'd love to get him. Big Mike says 500. Pray you're having a great day. We need a D and a cornerback to ASAP. Also, get our offenses head out of their butts. Thank you, my man. I hope you're having a good day as well. We got 680 people, only 206 likes. We got to have at least 300 likes here. Hit the like button. Hamstrings are serious because they linger. Those can last weeks and weeks and weeks. Philly Jazz says, hey, 500, I think we will be fine. The offensive line needs to get healthy and better plays. Trade for Crosby. I really don't think they're going to trade Crosby. I mean, I know it's out there. I know that we keep hearing his name. But I don't think the Raiders will trade him. I don't think they'll trade him. Thank you for that dislike, whoever just threw that on me. Family says, oh Lord, we go with Jackson and Ringo. Right? Yeah, I would give McWilliams a chance. Why not? It can't be any worse. If only Reggie White was still alive and young so he could play. I know, right? We need to get Tariq Castro on the field. He's on our practice squad. Put him in for Adoree. And Castro Fields is good at run stop. Well, I don't think they're going to do that. But he is on our practice squad. We did bring him back. Wentz might throw for 300 yards. Maybe. Wentz will also hold the ball too long. He will also miss guys. He will also take sacks. Maybe we get 5-6 sacks today. You know? If Q misses the game, we would need to score 30 points, maybe 40. Wow, everybody's going to be taking Minnesota this week, huh? NJ Garrett says they should have left Ringo on the turnpike right after that game. Man. So you think Bourne could play edge? Yeah, I think that's a very likely scenario. I mean, he's got experience on the edge. I can't say he was all that great. But he's got experience on the edge. It would not surprise me. They're probably going to feel things out. You know what I mean? Yeah, you want Crosby. Well, I really don't know if they're going to do it, you know? Sylvain says, Chubb next to Carter. Damn, that would be nice. I really like that idea. Like I'm leaning towards him even over Hendrickson. Just because I feel like he would fit in, you know? He knows the system. He knows what Vic's going to ask of him. It just makes sense. He makes perfect sense for the Eagles. And he's healthy, you know? That's what I really like about him. Let's see here. Jeff, let me see. I'm looking for that. Jeff, where are you? There you go. Jeff Bone the Bonehead celebrates 2 months of membership. Thank you so much, man, for your support. He goes, trade for Van Ginkel. I don't even think I think he's hurt, actually. Isn't he hurt? But I think, I don't know if they would do that. Sean says, go get Chubb and bring Gilmore or someone secondary. I like that idea. I do. Yeah, Chubb makes the most sense. What are you going to have to give up for him? I don't know. He's 29 years old. He is making a lot of money. So the Eagles, I was reading that they were going to have to mess around with his contract. But do it. Do it. Edge rusher is easier to plug. Yeah, he is. It's easier position. And he knows the system. And he's having a good year. He's got 4.5 sacks. Chubb is the guy to go get. If the Eagles were going to get Crosby, they should have done it in the offseason before he signed a contract. Yeah, I don't know. See, the whole Crosby stuff comes from the Cowboys, right? That whole rumor comes from the Cowboys that they were in negotiations with the Raiders to possibly trade for him after they got rid of Parsons. So I don't know how real the whole Crosby thing is anyways. Sign Chubb and move Campbell to edge and Dean and Bond handle the linebackers. Yeah, if he could play edge. Philly, Howie needs to call the Jets. Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald are good options at edge. We can go big and get Sauce Gardner, and the Jets want picks to build. You can't afford Sauce Gardner, though. Thing is you can't pay Sauce Gardner, then pay Q, then pay Coop. So Sauce Gardner stuff's not going to happen. However, Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald are possible. Lucky, thank you for the super chat. He goes, we won't make a move until after the Giants game. When's the deadline? Week 9? Yeah, it'll be right around that bye week. That's what I expect too. Yeah. So you need teams to continue to lose. And thank you for that super chat. Bring back CJ. They could do that right now today. They could literally bring him back like that. They don't want to. They don't want him. Yeah, he did flourish the Vic scheme. Sauce just got a big contract extension, just not eating a cap penalty. No, and the Eagles can't afford it. You can't pay. You got to pay Q, and then you got to pay. Remember, you got to pay Cooper DeJean a year early. He doesn't have a 5th-year option because he's a 2nd-round pick. So he's essentially got to get paid before Q. Dean Carter, Mitchell, and Nolan Smith is our only dogs. The rest of the guys are skilled but soft. Well, I think DeJean is a dog. I think DeJean's a dog. I think Q's a dog. I think Bond's a dog. So I think we got some dogs on the team. The problem is that where we're thin, we're really thin. Like edge rushers, and then that second cornerback spot. Also, Nolan Smith, we got a question. Now, you did put Mitchell in there. I see that now. But Nolan Smith got to prove it. He had great playoffs, but he did nothing so far this year. He was quiet. Maybe he was hurt, but he's got to show me something. I mean, are you going to give an extension to Nolan Smith right now? Would you give him an extension? I couldn't. I'll pick up his option here. Oh shit! The Barbie, the doll princess of YouTube is here. Royalty has entered the building. Bourne got juked by Dart and Barris. Yeah, it happens. But he also was should have been Defensive Player of the Year last year. Bourne was also fantastic in that Rams game. He was fantastic in a couple games this year. I think Bourne has been good. With our secondary, Wentz is going to look amazing. Maybe. Wentz may hold the ball too long. Maybe he'll take 8 sacks. Nick is going to mess around and get fired before the new contract is up. If he doesn't figure out a way to help out his inexperienced friend, I agree. He said that he ain't changing anything, that they reviewed everything and the offense remains the same. I don't know if I believe that. Think you put Nakobe Dean at edge? What do you think? I think he's too small. I think he would be too small to play it consistently. Would you give up Hunt, Ringo, and a third for Johnson and McDonald from the Jets? I think that's too much. I think you got to keep Hunt. Third rounder? I mean, maybe a third for both. I don't think they're going to cost you that much. We need CJ and Chubb. That would be nice. That would be my. If I was a GM, that's what I would do. I would. The first thing I would do today is I would go pick up CJ Gardner-Johnson off the practice squad. That would be my first move. The second move is I would sit there and I would try to get 2 edge rushers. I would get Chubb in here and I would get another guy. Nolan's biggest play was 15-yard penalty. Yeah, and that was bogus. Man, the sense I'm getting from a lot of Eagle fans this week is they think we're going to lose. A lot of people think we're going to lose this week. I don't think we're going to lose. I think we're going to win this game. I think we're going to rise up and we're going to find a way to beat this team. Now, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. ProfitX is the ultimate sports prediction market. Dive into peer-to-peer plays, create your own odds, and face off with fellow fans for bigger thrills and better payouts through exciting sweepstakes. Legal in 40 states. It's the smartest way to play. Get started now with promo code Philly500 and score up to $200 in ProfitX cash. That's $200 in ProfitX cash. Just use promo code Philly500. Let me know how it goes. You must be of legal age. Void where prohibited. All right, so here's why I say what I say, right, and what I think. Because if you look at this game, the Eagles are 2-point favorites. Usually a team gets 3 points just for being at home. When I see a spread where a away team is like -2 points, -1 points, even, I always take that away team. So I think the play of the week is the Eagles and that -2. I would take the points, and I think that would be a great way to go. Other thing is that under 43 over, they're going to score more points. Both teams are going to score points in this game, especially with the banged up defense that the Eagles have. And I think the Eagles' offense is going to rise a little bit, and they're going to have to score points as well. That's what I would do. Go to ProfitX, see if you can get same play, $200 in ProfitX cash. If you do, just use promo code Philly500. I think the Eagles win this game. I think we're going to bounce back. I just can't accept that we're not going to bounce back. I just can't. Oh man, definitely losing because Philly always losing best. Nah, man, that's wrong, man. I'm up, bro. I'm up big this year. I started the first 2 weeks bad, but I've been killing it so far. No, I'm doing good. If you stick with me, you're way ahead of the program. Mav says, "Oh, we ain't winning with those corners, Philly. Neither Jackson or Ringo, NFL corners career." All right, we'll see. Come see me on Sunday when we win. We're beating the Vikings this week. We're beating them. We're gonna play our best football of the year. Twit says, Nick and Kevin Patul's fault. Jalen takes 10 minutes to read a defense. I don't know if that's totally true. I don't know that Jalen Hurts takes 10 minutes to read a defense. Sometimes he holds the ball too long. That's true. It does happen. However, you don't win as many games as you did if he can't throw the ball at all. And I think this is the coach's fault. I think they they put handcuffs on this guy. They tell him that you can't turn the ball no matter what. You can't take any chances no matter what. And then he holds the ball because he's only going to look for certain things. I think that's the coach's fault because they don't develop him. They don't say, all right, look, Hurts, you don't feel comfortable. Supposedly, they said they don't run play action right because he doesn't like it. Well, why don't he get better at it? Why don't you teach him and get him to become better at it where it's not something he doesn't avoid? They got to continue to develop to him. Even at his age, you got to still try to develop him. I don't get it. I don't get why everybody's turning on Hurts so bad. I don't. We know he's not Josh Allen. We always knew that he's, in terms of passing, but he does so many other things good. Why would you give up on a guy that wins? That's the one thing I can't get. The guy wins, and people want to give up on him. Cryptic Meyer says, Silver lining Philly, every year the Eagles had a new coordinator. We have struggled early in the year, and even with Steichen. You saw Hurts 2022 with continuity. I agree. Yeah, I agree. They will not win with Adoree and Keeley on the field at the same time. Individually bad enough. The Giants showed what happens if both is in the game. I can't wait till they win this week. Can't wait. Can't wait. And I'm not going to say those guys are good. I just think that the team's going to show some heart. Nico says, Philly, they need to let Hurts loose. Let him read the field and stop inhibiting him and handcuffing him. I agree. And look, he's never going to be Allen. He's never going to be Patrick Mahomes in terms of, in the passing game. I get it. But he does things that others don't do. Okay? He has intangibles that others don't have. You've got to accept some of his flaws, try to get better where you can, and you move on. 500, keep waiting because we're not going to. Well, I can't hear you, Mom. I got to shine my Super Bowl ring. Didn't we just not win a Super Bowl? We've been in 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. And everybody acts like it's over. I don't agree. There's a reason I wear this hat. Golden era. I agree with that. Our secondary, besides Coop, is going to get smoked. Oh, of course they are. Of course they are. They're going to allow a lot of points. But we're also going to score points. Darnell, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, many are calling this Wentz revenge game. I'm sorry, Howie. Can't sit around and go out there with Ringo and Jackson. We might get torched to the air. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they're going to give up. I'm sure they're going to give up a lot of yards passing. I expect it. I expect Minnesota to put points on the board. But at the end of the day, I think the Eagles are still coming out with the W. And thank you for the Super Chat, my man. Super Bowl hangover? We'll see. 4-2. You would think we're 1-4. I'm willing to see McKee can do. There's no way to get McKee in there without starting major controversies with Hurts. Ghostface Digital says, they're showing their colors 500. Those are the fans that want the big stats over wins. Well, I mean, I get why everybody's frustrated. I do. And look, I'll be the first person to tell you, Hurts definitely, there's limitations in his passing. We've always known that, though. The thing is that it's the other things, the other intangibles that we love about him, is that he can win, and he wins. So, to me, you got to take the good with the bad. Jay Campbell says, I never seen a fan base give up on a Super Bowl winning quarterback after singular bad game. Like, I get it was a season, but one bad game and he needs to be benched. I don't get it with some of these people. I just think that people are frustrated with the passing game. I do. And I think I get it. I do. I get it. But, man, it's just like, yeah, we had some bad things happen and we've had some bad luck, or not even bad luck, but, we haven't played to our standard. But, man, I'm not giving up on the season. You can't tell me the Eagles can go into Tampa and beat Tampa. They can beat the Rams. And then they can go beat Kansas City and Kansas City. But they somehow can't beat the Vikings? I don't buy that. Somehow I have to be scared of Carson Wentz, Mr. Hold the ball too long. Talk about waiting for a play to develop. That guy. We need a win to miss. Yeah, I do. I miss those Stogie videos too. Makumba stunk too. I mean, they all stunk. But yeah, I mean, rookies are going to have to learn. Rookies are going to make mistakes. You got to just accept that. You know what I mean? Got to get some turnovers. I agree. But one thing we know about Carson Wentz is he will turn the ball over. What makes you think we'll score a lot of points? We didn't even do that last year. Our defense got us to the conference championship. What did we score in the conference championship? 50-something points? What did we score in the Rams game? How many points? It was like 30-something points? We could score points. I think we've been very inconsistent, but I think if we're consistent, I think we can score points. And I believe that even though it's been bad, I believe at some point it's going to get better. I've believed that the whole time. At some point, it's going to get better. At some point, our offense is going to get going. I believe it's this week. It's got to be this week. I don't think you can wait. It's got to be this week. Nothing 46. We're just talking. Wentz will not start over McCourt. I thought they already said it. I thought he already basically said it. I got a thing yesterday saying Wentz is starting. I'm going to the Vikings game, and yes, I think we are screwed. A lot of Eagle fans think we're screwed. I don't think we're screwed. I think we're going to win the next 2 games, and we're going to go into the bye week, and then when we come back for that Green Bay game, then it's the season really begins then. That's when we're going to know. Those 2 weeks, we're going to know what this team is. When we get to that Green Bay game, when you get to that Detroit game, we're going to know. McKee is up next when they had enough of Hurts. Oh, I guess. I mean, I don't think they've had enough of Hurts. That's the thing. I can't believe I didn't wake up to a Howie move this morning. Are you kidding? Yeah, man. Derek says, Phil, you got to be honest. We get 10 pressures on the quarterbacks, and we got Ringo and Dory starting. Winning is going to be tough. I'm not saying it's not going to be tough, and I'm not saying that there's not going to be a lot of points scored. I said there's going to be points scored. Take the over. But I still think we're going to win. Yeah, I still think we're going to win. We always play down to our opponents, and that's when we lose games. I agree. I really like to think that last week was a wake-up call for us. I really do. Denise says, I agree, 500. The disrespect from so-called fans is deplorable. We have a great team. They will overcome it. I got to give them the leeway to get things right, you know? But like I said, when you get into, if you lose one of the next 2 games, that's really bad. But once you get to that Green Bay-Detroit game, those 2 games we find out. We find out what this team is. You got to get some turnovers. I agree. Mad Titan, thank you for Super Chat. Did say sit him this weekend only if he plays shit again this weekend. Yeah, I mean, I wondered. I mean, do you think, and I ask this to everybody, do you guys think they're close to benching Hurts? Do you feel that the play has been that bad that they could pull him? Like, or do you think that's just media talk, media narratives, media stirring the pot? Or do you think that they're really legitimately like, yeah, Hurts is playing really bad, and if you don't pick it up soon, this is going to happen? I'm curious what people think. Because I always look at it like I look at a lot of the Hurts talk as just media-driven starting crap, to be honest with you. So that's a legitimate question I'm asking you guys. Korma, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, you do know we had the 31st ranked pass game last year, right? Our running game cover up how bad they're passing with the exception of a few games. I do know that, yeah. I do know that. And I mean, with the way they ran the ball and the offensive line and how good and dominant they were, not just they were last year, but how dominant they've been. I've got to believe at some point they're going to figure this thing out and they're going to get back on track. And thank you, Korma, for the super chat. Di says, we ain't benching Hurts. All right. I'm just curious what people think. Hey, Philly, there's some stuff heating up. You know, a lot of talk now is around the Eagles getting a pass rusher. Bradley Chubb, Jermaine Johnson, Jalen Phillips. Those are all names being floated around. Bench the coach. Sometimes you got to be benched. Oh, I get it. Parker says, media narrative, laughing my ass. No way they'll bench Hurts. See, I take it as media narrative too. So it's like now all these people are stirred up about Hurts getting benched. I don't know if that's a reality. I mean, if I'm being honest, is there a part of me that would love to see what like a passing quarterback would do in a system, how their offense would change or adjust? Yeah, it would be interesting to see, but not at the expense of causing problems with Hurts. Charles says, "Look, Philly 500. Unless they fire Patullo, we ain't doing anything. It doesn't matter about the defense acquisitions. We need to be frank about all this offense straight trash." Well, I think all this problems stem from, one, you have a banged up offensive line, and the offensive line was so dominant that it hid and masked a lot of your offensive problems, especially in play calling and things like that, and passing game. Now that you're not getting that, it's coming to the surface. I do think Patullo in the offense, I think they tie one hand behind Hurts' back, and then they tell him to go out there and do stuff. And then when he doesn't, they say, "Oh, well, we don't open it up more because we don't trust Jalen." I mean, that's what they're essentially people are trying to say. I don't believe it. I think the offense coordinator is a problem. Whether it's him or Sirianni, it's a problem. And I don't disagree with you, except to say that they've been down this road so many times. I mean, this is like the third or fourth time where we've dealt with this offensive bad play calling, and then all of a sudden Sirianni relinquishes it or he backs off, and then the whole offense changes. We've done this 3 or 4 times already, so why not happen it again? El Campbell, Denver Super Chat. He goes, "Why are you feeding into this Hurts thing? You keep getting the conversation alive." Well, I gotta, people are talking, and I got a responsibility to answer comments as best I can. I'm not going to avoid something because somebody asked it. I try to just respond to everything I can, and if people keep bringing it up, then so be it. I'm not. It's too hard to try to say, "Oh, but this is about Hurts. I don't want to answer that. I don't want to answer that." I don't really do it. I just try to answer as many as I can. Nick, thank you for the super chat. He goes, "Ravens just cut CJ. Get him back, Howie. Come on." Did they really? Well, I mean, it didn't matter. He was on the practice squad, so they could have signed him off the practice squad at any point in time. The Eagles do not want him back. They do not want him back, and he's not going to come back, unfortunately. Is Yale Davis super chat? He goes, "Charles Camacho is 100% correct." Well, what did he say? I don't know what he said. I didn't see his text. You have to tell me more. SmackDown. He says, "What's good, Philly?" Question: do you think the later games would have something to do with it? I do. I remember Jessica saying something about last year they do better at 1 p.m. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that has really anything to do with it. They may not like certain time games, but both teams got to play at the same time. So I don't think that's I don't think that's the reason why. I said, look, 500. Unless they fire Petula, we ain't doing it. Oh yeah. I read that one. Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with you. Petula is definitely a problem. Bob Brown says Philly Hurts and Sirianni are the constant are the constant over the last 4 up and down years, but they have always had an offensive coordinator between them. Now Nick is calling a play, so we'll see who the real problem is. That's for sure. Did Nick announce that he's taking over or something? That's crazy. Yeah, I agree with you, Greenwave. 500 heard from me first. Eagles will trade Brown. When? When will they trade Brown? Give me a time frame. Like, they'll trade Brown before the trade deadline, or they'll trade him in the offseason? Because trading him in the offseason is quite possible. But I'll say they are not trading him by the trade deadline. This is why sometimes I admire Cowboy fans. Dak sucks and haven't won shit, and they love him. But Hurts wins Super Bowl, and Philly fans want to bench him. Yeah, it's crazy to me. It's. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. Israel, thank you for the super chat. He goes, Nick needs to coach and stop BSing. I agree. It's literally meant for CJ to be an Eagle. How he get him back here? I wish. I mean, do you think with everything going on, they would want to deal with him in the locker room? I don't know. I don't know. Did Baltimore really cut him? Why would Baltimore cut him off the practice squad? Why did they cut him? Is he that much of a problem? Charles says, you the man, 500. Marco's will lose. Thank you, man. Howie needs to get on the damn phone. He does. Big Gucci says, you never answered my question. Don't entertain that bullshit. This is the first comment I've seen of you, Big Gucci. But ask your question. Fire away. Taco Tuesday. What's up, Matthew? How are you? Nick can't be worse than Patullo. I think it's been Nick the whole time. The defense the first 3 weeks look like this with rookies. Fangio will adjust if he knows Q is out, like versus Saints last year. Yeah, he will. I will. I think he will. If you all want Hurts to be better, then you have to get rid of Sirianni. Yeah, we need some Howie magic now. Agreed. Shark, thank you for the super chat. He said 500. Don't let this toxic chat change your take on Hurts, man. Lost 2 games in 2 years. These are the same. Bench him. Shake him out. Well, it's not going to change my opinion. It's not going to change my opinion. I understand the frustrations of the season so far, but I'm not about benching them. And it's funny because you listen to the media people and they talk about it, and then they say, well, yeah, Hurts is the problem. Hurts is this. Then it's like, but I'm not saying bench him. Oh, okay, so you're saying all these problems, and he's the reason for all of it, but then you don't want to bench him. It's like, well, then do you really believe what you're saying? AJ trades $16 million in dead cap hit this year, $48 million next year. AJ ain't going nowhere and shouldn't. He should definitely not. Which Brown getting traded? Well, it ain't AJ Brown. Who's the other Brown? Sidney Brown? Nobody wants him. James says 500. They will trade him this year before the deadline, especially if they lose to the Vikings. So you're assuming that they're going to start to lose and basically go into tank mode. Yeah, I'll take that bet. I don't think they trade him. Philly Eagle fans are the stupidest people ever. The AJ talk is ridiculous. There were we doing before he and his teams got here? Explain. You remember that? The old Umbrella Man. Remember the year Wentz had like what? He had like not one receiver over like 500 yards or something ridiculous like that. I do not want to go back to those days at all. And then if you're going to complain about A.J. Brown and say, well, he's this, he's that, we got to get rid of him, but then complain about Hurts saying, well, Hurts doesn't throw well enough, blah, blah, blah. Well, then how can getting rid of A.J. Brown, how can that help your offense? I don't get it. 500, you need 2 out of 3 wins from the Vikings, Packers, and Lions. Well, I think you need to win the next 2 games. And then you need a split between Packers and Lions. Like, you already got the tiebreaker on the Rams. You already got the tiebreaker in the Bucs. Now, the Buccaneers only got 1 loss, and you got 2. But Buccaneers, I don't think they're going to win. The Buccaneers got to play Detroit in Detroit. I'll be streaming that game Monday Night Football. That's Bucs Lions in Detroit. Detroit coming off a loss. So Buccaneers are going to have 2 losses again. So if the Eagles take care of business, we got the tiebreaker on them. So beat the Vikings, beat the Giants, and then if you split with Green Bay or Detroit, one of those 2 teams, you should have home field advantage. Hurts is highly overrated. Sure. I know that's what everybody wants to say, but I'm not going that route. I don't believe it. Why did Eagle fans forget in February of this year, Jalen Hurts threw the effing dagger in the Super Bowl? This is down to bad play calling. We need the whole team cooking. Yeah, I mean, that's my point. I think Hurts can do it if they ask him to do it. You know, and yeah, there's weaknesses there. Everybody has weaknesses. But overall, Jalen Hurts is different than to me, all these other quarterbacks. Because he wins big games. He wins big games. Shark, thank you for Super Chat, man. Oh, I think I read that one. Don't let the change you. Yes. Without Hurts, this team still has 1 Super Bowl. Agreed. And without Hurts, you know, here's an example. I love Dancilio, right? I love him. But now Hurts stinks. Hurts ain't the best quarterback. But 2 weeks ago, he had Hurts as one of the MVP candidates. So how did you go from he's one of the MVP candidates to he stinks? You know? And I love Cilio, I do. But I just don't understand that thinking. And I see it like with the media, like all of a sudden, you're not 4-0. You never made 4-0 without Jalen Hurts. But now you're 4-2. We want to bench him. Make it make sense to me. Austin, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, I read Patullo was let go, Sirianni calling plays. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. There's so many weird rumors that I don't know what's true or not. If Hurts gets hurt, it will be a blessing for Tanner to play Tanner. I mean, we'll see. I think Tanner's going to be a good quarterback. I do. I think he's going to be good in this league. You know? But it's not like, well, Tanner's good, that means Hurts must stink. They both could be good. John O'Malley says, because Howard Eskin on the social show and said that he's not a quarterback for the league. So, well, he was backtracking. He was backtracking before that. C.J. Gardner-Johnson time? I wish. Landon Dickerson and Jalen Carter are 2 monsters that were out. Yeah, that's true. But, you know, I mean, in fairness, the Giants had a bunch of guys out too. We just didn't show up. And we got our ass kicked. Christopher says, it's not just the coaches. Yes, there have been bad play calling. But Hurts missed wide open guys and isn't seen to feel well. Even though pass blocking has been good, he has to play better. There's no doubt about it. He missed the A.J. Brown pass and the Devontae Smith. I thought Hurts did not play good against the Giants. I thought that was a really bad game. I thought that was his worst game of the year. I didn't think he was good at that in that game at all. I thought he was so in the Denver game. I thought the second half he wasn't good. Can he be better? Yeah. There's no doubt about it. CJ was expecting the Ravens signing to lead him to play, but they traded for safety and reached a mutual agreement on his release. So where's he gonna go? Where's Johnson? Johnson is, geez. If I was CJ Gardner-Johnson, I would call the Eagles up and beg them to take me back. Just please, I'll be on my best behavior. I just need to go. I need to come home. Howie time, right on. Philly Wentz was having an MVP season. He was having MVP. Foles won Super Bowl. Doug coached the Super Bowl. We moved on from all of them. That was done in the past. It does not matter. Nick and Hurts need to figure this out now. Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the Wentz situation, Wentz got hurt. He should have been MVP. He got ripped off. Then he should have won the MVP. The Eagles win the Super Bowl. Then if Foles ends up playing one more year going, Wentz comes back the next year, right? He gets hurt again. Foles finishes the year again. Foles then goes as a free agent to Jacksonville. Carson takes over. Carson requests a trade. Remember, Carson asked to be traded. He requested a trade. So he basically gave up on him. They fired Doug because Doug didn't want to give control up to who the offensive coordinator was going to be. And yeah, it was a mess. It was a mess. Shark, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, as long as we make the playoffs, we're going to go to the Super Bowl. What team wants to face the Eagles and a winner go home? Hurts is lethal. He'll get better. Yeah, a lot of football left to play. The MVP of the league had a bad game yesterday, and no one is calling for his backup to start. That's true. You're going to the game on Sunday? That's cool. Put CJ Gardner-Johnson back in the slot and put Cooper outside. I mean, he could play it. There's no doubt about it. Brian says, 500, do you think we can come out of slump? I do think we can come out of slump. I do. I think this Minnesota game is the start of it. I think it's got to be this week. I think if you come out and you don't show up against Minnesota, then I think that there's something wrong. I think we're back at 2023 all over again, because I don't think that they can figure it out. If they can't figure it out after this week and get it back on page, then I don't think any time they can. It's got to be this week. We just need to take it 1 week at a time. This is how you start out. Agreed. Chauncey would help, but they won't bring him back. No. 500, did you not hear Hurts said that he had a private meeting with Brown? Said he doesn't recall that it's the start of the trade process, locker room break. Well, I didn't hear Hurts say that. I heard that it was reported, and then it was Brown that said no, they just were talking by the car. So I don't know. What the hell's that noise? Sounds like truck brakes. Interesting how the media always wants to pile on, but they won't say the same narrative. Buffalo 2 games losing streak. Oh, you won't hear it. Yeah. We will see what happens, Yeah, the guys comment, they just repeat misinformation by the media. Yeah, I don't know, We're going to find out. The great thing is we'll find out versus Minnesota. I think we'll know by the way this team plays whether they're going to respond or not. Nah, AJ's not getting traded. Not during the season. Not during the season. No doubt about it. Let me see here. I mean, look, they got to play the game. We saw in 2023 they couldn't ever recover, and it was crazy. Maybe this year is like that. Maybe it isn't. I mean, we're going to find out. CJ got released. Yeah, it didn't matter though. Like I said, CJ was on the practice squad. Eagles could have signed him off that practice squad any point in time, and they didn't. They have no interest in bringing him back. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. Gotta love Philly says Bummanders and Cowgirls were talking so much. Oh yeah, ain't it great watching those two bum teams lose? I don't know what we're gonna do next week. They play each other. I'll be streaming that too. I'll be streaming Thursday night's game. Then I'll be streaming the Eagles, Minnesota, and then the doubleheader. Well, then you're gonna have the Washington Dallas game. I'll stream that, and then Monday you got a great game in Tampa, Detroit. That's a great game. So I'll be streaming that, and then the other game after that. So it'll be a lot of streaming this week. Jalix has to step up. I know. That's why I put on my thumbnail, guys, I need to step up. Something's up with CJ Gardner-Johnson if all these teams cut him. Yeah, there's something definitely wrong, you know. CJ's available again. Yeah, the Eagles could have signed him off the practice squad, though, so he's been available. They're going to get Kayvon Thibodeau in a trade. Well, I hope so. I would love that move. I think he's one of those guys that change scenery. Change of scenery for him could help a lot. You know? Shark, thank you for Super Chat. Says they want to see Tanner. Could you imagine Hurts on the Bears with Ben Johnson and his creativity? If Caleb was better, that would have been a blowout. God, I know. I wish they ran an offense like that with Hurts. That would be great. He would be great in that. No question about it. Guys, listen, we are okay. We are in good company. 2 rings in a few years. It's not bad for a team. Hey, ups and downs come with the game. We will be just fine. Go Birds. Yeah, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. NJ Garrett says, you want the Cowboys to win. It would give everyone a loss minimum in the division and would give Washington 4 NFC losses already. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're going to actually have to root for Dallas. That's going to be so hard. It's going to be so hard, but it does benefit the Eagles. I agree. I agree. Nico says, the Philadelphia sports media always sucked a hind tit when it comes towards our team. Look at the garbage lefty Steve Carlton went through. It was so bad he refused to talk to any of them. Yeah, you're right. I remember that. Well, I don't remember that, but I remember hearing about that. How does CJ Gardner-Johnson go from being a Super Bowl champion, in 23, go Super Bowl in 23 with the Eagles, then NFC Championship with the Lions, then winning a Super Bowl back to the Eagles at 25. Now teams, I know, I don't get it. I don't get it, man. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on with him. Something's not right. Jail, thank you for Super Chat. He goes, mistake not getting CJ back, missing Lane Johnson. Yeah, I would have loved to get him back. It's definitely his attitude. I don't know what happened with Baltimore. Maybe he was like, hey, I need to play. And they said, the hell with this. I don't know. It's crazy. And also, can't root for the Cowgirls no matter what. We own our ish win, baby. Win. I hear you. It's very hard to root for the Cowboys, especially when Mark's all smug. He's got that face. Nah. CJ misses being Eagles simple. He does. CJ is a mental case. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it. So, I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, guys, I'm going to head out. We're an hour in. Got some things to do. I'll try to get a video out later. And we'll see what happens. I mean, will the Eagles make a trade? That's going to be the giant question. But I'm going to get out of here. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys so much. If I'm rooting for Bucks or Lions. Got to root for the Lions because the Bucks got a better record. And we got the tiebreaker. So, Lions, we're going to go for the Cowboys and the Lions next week. It's kind of crazy. But you guys have a great day. I'll try to get a video out later today if I can at some point. With that said, great conversation. I enjoyed it. A lot of different opinions, and I think Thursday will be I think next Sunday will be a big day for us to see if this team can get things right. With that said, you guys have a great day. I will talk to you later. And yeah, I'm out of here. Peace.
Come on, guys.
2 minutes to go. You have plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad, no!
It's over. It's over. This game is over. Cut it off. It's over.
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay.
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today. That was on you, Dak. That was on you, Dak. That was on you, Dak.
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott. Trying to feed the Lamb. Trying to feed the Lamb. You tried to feed the Lamb. You got to give it to C. Lamb. God. It's over. It's over, Dak. Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Jerry Jones taking. Cut it off. It's over.